Okay, good morning, students. I hope I'm audible and visible to all of you.
Good morning,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Good
Good
morning.
morning,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Good
Yes.
morning, sir.
Okay, very good morning to all. And last confirmation, I hope you are able to see the screen that I shared.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great, great. Okay, I think we are meeting for the first time, so I think you need to know me and I need to know you also. So I'm Dr. Mihir Dave. I'll be dealing with one of your papers in BA, which is Popular Literature. So that we are going to discuss when we are going to have the regular sessions. Since this is Prelude, a bridge course, as the name suggests, it is going to be a bridge between the places that you are coming from. There is a wonderful diversity that we have amongst our students. Some of them are from Gujarat, some of them are from other countries, other states. So that's a small but a wonderful, say, unit of the students where we have students from the diverse background, right? So that's where you come from, and the area that you want to reach or the field that you are going to explore is literature and language and a lot of things that might be new for many of you or rather most of you. So in that case, it is essential and it is inevitable that you are given some kind of a connection, some kind of a bridge, some kind of an orientation before we actually plunge into literature and into language and into criticism and a lot of things that could be slightly challenging for the students if such bridge is not built. So that's the attempt that we are going to make in that series. I think I'm not the first one. I think I'm second or third one to come, or maybe the last one to come, to provide you some amount of literature. The area that I'm going to touch upon in the first two sessions would be poetry, right? I'm sure you must have heard the term called poetry or a poem or a song, maybe rhyme or a rhythm. You do have some background, I'm sure. So with that, I'm going to try and tell you what do we mean by poetry, how can we appreciate it, and that's what is required. Before we begin, I just wanted to clarify, which I'm sure some of my colleagues must have done, which is it will not be a traditional class or classes or interactions, would be more of a two-way in nature. So that is, more you participate, better for you, clarity that you get will try and help in whatever ways we have. Last thing, at least that I would prefer, would be to lecture, or to give you a lecture or to tell you do's and don'ts. What I would be doing is we'd be rather interacting with you. I'll be giving some kind of opening remarks here and there, and maybe a bit of feedback and a suggestion wherever required. But otherwise, it will be more of a two-way thing that we are going to do, right? So there, in this series, I would want to start with today's session, which is about poetry appreciation. It's going to be the first session, and the screen that I shared would consist of the first part. As you can see, it's poetry appreciation. That's the first session. You're also going to have another session which is scheduled in the timetable. So I think in the WhatsApp I did drop a kind of a pre-task, kind of a task that all of you are supposed to come up with, and that was to share your favorite, maybe poetry, maybe a song, or whatever you call it, sairi. So that was the task given to all of you. So it will be a good opportunity for me to know you. You don't need to quote unquote introduce yourself, but you just need to tell me your name and maybe your line or lines that is your favorite. Okay, can we do that? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
we can, I'm sure. So how would you do it? Do it chronologically. I do have a chronology which is called an attendance, roll number wise. That's one way of doing it. The other is more democratic way of doing it, that students would volunteer one by one. So how do you prefer to go? Should I tell you, or would you like to volunteer? What do you say?
So for if I say both are okay for me.
Okay, so it's okay for Hardi. So this happens with the first year students. They are so obedient, and then they became independent in the course of time. Um, okay, so I think for sake of the time and the convenience, I think I would go for the chronology, so that we can do both the things. So Let me try. So, do we have Achal? Achal Parmar? Achal, are you there? No, Achal is not there. Do we have Bhumi?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Bhumi, do you have your favorite line ready with you?
Actually, sir, I do have my favorite poem.
Okay, go ahead.
Earlier, I have studied in my school times.
Yeah.
So,
Like I just with the help of Bhumi, I would tell you that I would prefer you to share. You may or may not give the background of yours or maybe of the poem that you're going to share. So that way, it'll be yes. You may say that why do you like this and all, but basically you're interested in the stuff that you're going to share. So what's your favorite poem, Bhumi?
my favorite poem is "The Way Through the Woods," which is written by Rudyard Kipling.
Okay,
Actually, I like the moral of the story.
you mean poem?
Yes.
Okay, so could you tell me a line or two that's your favorite?
Yes, sir, sure. The line, uh, the starting lines only are like my favorite. Like they shut the road through the woods. Just that one line, because it shows the sadness, or we can say, I don't have a perfect word for it, but they show that they too have a lives. Like nature too have the lives, which we do not respect it. Like we cut the trees just for building roads for just ourselves. So.
Okay, okay, okay. And why do you like it?
I personally feel that all should be treated equally, whether it should be a living thing or a non-living thing.
Hmm.
So just for our comfortness, for our comfort zone, we should not cut trees. Like they are, if they are alive, then only we are alive. We should
Okay,
respect them.
okay. So we are connected. All of us are
Yes,
connected.
we all are connected in an environment, so we should respect
True,
each other for lifestyle or for living.
true, true. Great. Do we have Dhruvi?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Dhruvi. Would you like to share your line or lines? Are you there, Dhruvi?
My favorite
Your voice is cracking. I'm not getting your voice.
no, sir.
What do you mean by no? Like, I mean, is it an English problem? You can share any other language also. If if you don't have these lines in English, you can use your first or second language like Hindi, Gujarati also would do in case English is an issue.
Okay,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. So, do you want some time? I should come back to you later.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. I could see Prapti is raising her hand. Yes, Prapti, would you like to share?
Yes, so the poem that I like is Caged Bird by Maya Angelou, and
Okay.
uh, that poem is about freedom and how people are racially and racially up in the casteism, and it is about racism. So,
Mhm.
and the last stanza is what I like, because in the last stanza, the caged bird is getting free and it is singing in freedom in
Mhm.
the open air.
Okay, can you tell us one or two lines?
Yes, sir. It is that um, um, for the caged but long for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom.
Okay, okay. So that's Prapti. Thank you, Prapti. Next to Prapti, chronologically, I could see the other students, but I think volunteering would be a better idea. Yes, Anshu Agela.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
My favorite poem is My Mother at 66. It is written by Kamala Das.
Mm-hmm.
It shows the theme of advancing age of the mother of the author and the fear of separation.
Okay. Could you share one or two lines? One or two
It
lines.
shows how beautiful a relationship of a mother and a daughter can have.
I think you are explaining the poem. I'm saying, can you share the lines of the poem? Do you have the poem with you,
No,
Anshu?
sir. Sir,
Okay. I mean, I think you missed the word. All of you seem to be missing the word favorite. What do you mean by favorite?
Something that we like the most.
And if you like something the most, obviously you should remember it. And that's what we call your favorite, not the explanation part. And please note, it doesn't mean that your explaining is not good. It's good for literature students and all. But the first step is you should enjoy it, and it should be close to your heart. And that's why you remember. And that's whenever somebody says, "Which your favorite line?" you may start humming, if not singing, isn't it? So that's what I would prefer. It's okay if it is maybe a film song, maybe a pop song, maybe anything, but that's come to your heart and you can start humming it. The moment you think, moment you're free, if you notice that tune hums in your head, might be walking, you might be driving, and it's there in the back of your mind. It could be in English, it could be in any other language. Okay, so I think this word English is making it literary, and Kamala Das and all these are good, but can you hum it? Can you not tap your fingers or leg when you are remembering that song? Such is what I'm expecting. If you can think of, so that I think would help. Yeah, any such sharing would, if somebody has. Yep, Vishwaraj, is Vishwaraj there? Vishwaraj Singh Jadeja. Do we have Tasmai Joshi? Tasmai Joshi doesn't seem to be there. Okay. Do we have Hardi? Hardi?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Hardi is there. Would you like to share your?
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Sir, but whenever I say of my favorite lines, there are many. Like I like Ozymandias, which I studied in my school days.
Mhm.
It it's a beautiful poem because it teaches the value and power of time.
Okay.
That's why I like it, and I could hum it even if whenever I'm listening song that is themed on it.
Okay, if you can hum one or two lines.
So it would be like a weird.
You don't need to sing. You can just recite, maybe.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Nothing besides remains round the decay. Oh, of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare,
Mhm.
lone and the level sands stretches far away. The time always wins.
Okay. Okay.
And some of others are that I write by myself.
Oh, so why don't you share one of your own favorite?
Mine favorite.
I mean, you must have created. I mean, they are like your
Yes,
children.
sir.
Obviously, you like all of your children, but
Yes.
maybe one or two which is close to your heart.
So one such is she, a miracle. I like to write descriptive ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually describe a person that I imagine by myself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. If you
So
could
one,
share one or two lines, how do you describe?
yes, just a second. Sir. They said she was a loner and she wandered in the deep valley of her own thoughts. They knew she wasn't an expressive, but a creator she was. She was untamed soul in a tamed form. She is a creator.
Okay. That's your creation.
Yes,
Interesting. Interesting.
I
Okay.
just recited it because I found it earlier, prepared it.
Oh, great.
I got the
Great.
book besides me, so I
Great.
recited it.
Great. Great. So good to know that
Hope you
we do
liked it.
have some creators in our class. Happy to know that. Do we
Hope you
have?
liked it, sir.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I would discuss further, but right now let's get some expressions by some of the students. Do we have Lean? Aline Miat?
Yes, 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 sir.
I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Is it Lin or is it Lin Lin?
Lane, yeah, you can call me Lane.
I can call you Lin, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, Lin. Which country are you from?
I'm from Myanmar. Myanmar.
Okay, Myanmar. Okay.
Yes,
Would you like to share one
yes,
of your?
yes, yes, of course. Yeah, I like the poem called Day I Rise by Maya Angelou.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the favorite part is like you may written me down in history with your bitter, twisted lines. You may told me in the very dark, but stay like ducks I will rise. I like this poem because it is kind of motivational for me, and like once I read that poem, like it gives me some kinds of energy to move forward. So I choose this.
Okay, okay, interesting. So, any of your say favorite line from your language? Which language do you people speak in Myanmar?
It's Burmese.
Burmese. So, any line from Burmese that's close to your heart, or something that you can hum the
Um,
tune?
Yes,
Maybe a
there are a lot of meaningful poem also, but I didn't know. Yeah.
okay, yeah. Maybe some other day. Maybe some other day.
Yes, yes.
Sure, sure. Thank you, Lynn, for sharing. Then we have Vishakha. Do we have Vishakha? Is she there? Vishakha? I think somebody is using chat. Dhruvi said her phone has an issue. Only speak names Avantika. I'm not getting. Dhruvi also saying about her few favorite things. I'm not getting you, Dhruvi. You are trying to write something. Is your phone favorite? I don't know. Favorite is these are a few of my favorite things. Okay, is it a line or is it? I don't know. I'm not getting you, Dhruvisha. Okay, sir. Here is so much noise, so I can't turn on my audio. So where are you, Vishakha? Where there is a lot of noise? Because you can't be in the class and be at a noisy place, because not only speaking, even listening would be a problem if you are at a noisy place. So you make up your mind. If you are not there mentally, physically, it's not going to help you to a great extent. Anyways, do we have Harshjeet Singh? Do we have Harshjeet Singh in the class? Okay, Harshjeet Singh doesn't seem to be there. Do we have Shakti? Sorry, Sakshi. Sakshi?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Sakshi. Would you like
So
to share your?
everybody here is talking about the poems, but sorry to say, I don't read that much poems.
That's fine. That's fine.
So I have many favorite English songs.
That's
I'm fond
absolutely
of
fine.
them.
That's fine.
And there is a pop star called Justin Bieber. I think everybody know about him.
Okay.
Yes, I am a big fan of him.
Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong.
So there was a song called Pray,
Mm-hmm.
which is my favorite song because in the song he was talking about the situation around him, like the children are crying because they are not having enough food, and people are fighting with each other because they envy each other,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and a lot of situation around him in maybe in his country or maybe around the world or maybe. So it is my favorite song, and in that song he was talking that we should pray to God so that we can at least be a good person.
Okay. Can you share the lines? Can you share the lines? One
Okay,
of
there was line like I close my eyes and I can see a better day. I close my eyes and I pray. I pray for all the souls in need. And this line is my favorite line because, how can I say, like, he is doing something for other people, like who are in need. So, this is my favorite line of the song.
okay. Okay. So that's Sakshi, fan of
Yes.
Justin Bieber. Then we have Tulsi. Do we have Tulsi? Tulsi
Yes,
Parmar?
sir.
Yes, Tulsi. Would you like to share
Sir,
your?
sir, I'm not interested in poem. मतलब ज्यादातर तो गाने ही सुनते हैं पर
आप तो गाने
पोएम
शेयर कर दीजिए, कोई बात नहीं, गाने शेयर कर दीजिए, कोई भी एक दो लाइन जो आपके क्लोज है, सो यू कैन शेयर दैट. एंड हु इज दिस सोनू? सोनू परमार?
वो मैं ही हूँ मतलब
हाँ तो
आईडी अलग है सर.
हाँ तो आईडी आप ना तुलसी कर दीजिए, अदरवाइज इट विल बी
ओके
कंफ्यूजिंग. ठीक है, चलिए. सो सोनू एलियास तुलसी और तुलसी एलियास सोनू, प्लीज शेयर योर लाइन.
सर लाइन तो नहीं पर ज्यादातर गुजराती ही गाना गुजराती और
तो
हिंदी.
भी ठीक है, तो भी ठीक है, विल ट्राई एंड ट्रांसलेट इट. सो मे बी वन और टू लाइन्स दैट क्लोज टू यू.
अम्म, गाना पड़ेगा अभी.
गाना बिल्कुल नहीं है, बिल्कुल नहीं गाना है ना. आपने सिर्फ रिसाइट करना, मतलब बोलना है कि दिस इज माय फेवरेट लाइन.
ओके तो
Or a song or whatever. Which one?
धुन दागी.
Dhun Lagi by this Sachin Jigar wala.
हाँ.
Okay, which is actually a folk song, by the way, a Gujarati folk song, which is turned into a modern tune and humming. But is that Dhun Lagi you are talking about?
हाँ.
So this Lagi Re Lagi Teri Dhun Lagi, that one?
Yes sir.
Okay, and why do you like that song?
बस ऐसे ही मतलब म्यूजिक अच्छा था तो मूड
हाँ
फ्रेश हो जाता है गुजराती
हाँ.
गाने सुन के.
So दो चीजें हैं. One is music, the other is it makes you feel good.
यस
है
सर.
ना. So these two things. Others may or may not have this lyrical literature. वो नहीं है तो
या
ठीक है ना. So that's good. You like this song because it makes you feel good. You like the tune. You like the music.
म्यूजिक.
So
यस
that's absolutely fine. So that's Tulsi with us. Thank you, Tulsi.
थैंक यू सर.
Then we have I don't know, Muhammad Imtiaz. Muhammad Imtiaz. Do we have that Muhammad Imtiaz in our class? No. Do we have Eugene? Eugene?
Yes, sir.
I hope
Yes,
I'm
sir.
pronouncing your name correctly.
It's Ugen, sir. Ugen.
Ugain. Okay, we should call it Ugain. Ugain is your first name?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ugain. So, do you have any line that you would like to share? Song, rhyme,
Okay,
anything?
sir.
Okay, please.
I'm not very big on poems, but there's a poem that I like.
Okay,
So okay, I'll read my favorite lines.
sure,
So
sure.
yes, it's called Brown Eyes by Jane Elliott.
Okay,
So yes, her eyes are blue and your eyes are brown, but your eyes hold the riches that are buried in the ground. Her eyes carry storms and rage like the sea. Your eyes carries earthquakes that brings mountains to their knees. That's one. Okay, I like this
okay,
point because it encourages self-love, like especially Asians. Being an Asians, most of us have brown eyes, so they think that it must not hold any speciality. So this point tells us that we are special too. That's all.
okay, okay. That makes you feel good. That makes you feel safe,
Um,
or that makes you feel somebody's representing you.
yes, sir. Like,
Isn't it? I can't say what she said, or the poem said what I wanted to say. Something like that.
yeah, yes, sir, yes.
Interesting, interesting.
We
So
can
again,
relate to it.
again, which country you are from?
I'm from Bhutan, sir.
You are from Bhutan.
Yes.
Oh, they say that's the happiest country on earth. Is it true?
Um,
Because in
I'm not
people
sure.
in people in this part of the world, especially in India, we know Bhutan by the favorite food dish called momos.
Uh, we have
Most
no.
most Indian students don't know that momos originated from Bhutan, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So that's that. Again, can you please repeat the name of the poem? Yes, please share it with Sakshi, and I'm sure that would be happy sharing. Anyway, so after Ugain, we have Avantika. Do we have Avantika? Avantika, are you there? Yes, Avantika. But your voice is having some background noise. Are you outdoor, Avantika? There is a lot of background noise, so you're not audible clearly. I could hear the. For now, it's okay. It's okay. What I heard was sorry to say. So I'm sure there will be some disagreement coming on the way. So she said sorry to say. That means whatever comes after sorry to say would be disagreement and not interested and stuff like that. So let it come. So Avantika is going to write something on the chat, and then we have Disha. Do we have Disha?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Disha. Would you like to share yours?
Yes, sir. Basically, I love songs,
That's
Gujarati
fine.
songs.
Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Which is your favorite Gujarati song?
नैन ने बंद राखी ने, which is sang by Dhani Bhanushali.
Mm-hmm.
It,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
it makes me feel better when I am so stressed, and so for few minutes or half an hour, I listen to songs.
Mm-hmm. Do you know who is the writer of this song?
No, sir.
Yeah, yeah. You just being a student of literature, you enjoy this song. That's your favorite song, I'm sure, because you like maybe the video, maybe the music, maybe because it makes you feel good. Absolutely fine with this. But since now you are a literature student, you can go and research a bit of it. Just ask Google; it will tell you. You will find more than one lyricists, those who wrote this song, the original song, and the one that is used by this lady Bhanusali. Right. So that's
Sir,
interesting one. Yes, Sakshi.
Barkat Virani maybe.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Barkat Virani.
Uh, Go and search on this Bhanusali album. Is it the entire Barkat Virani or only first line by Barkat Virani? Okay, so that will be happy discovery. Like Falguni Pathak and Bhanusali and all these are known for making these twists and turns, and that will be very interesting. So go and discover. But good that you like the line that goes like. How do you go the line? How does it go?
નૈનની બંધ રાખીને મેં જ્યારે તમને જોયા છે, તમે છો એના કરતા પણ વધારે તમને જોયા છે.
Okay, so that's the first line. That when I close my eyes, for the sake of translation to the international student, that's a Gujarati line, which means I saw you by closing my eyes, and I could see you more than what you actually are. That's what it means, right? That when I
Yes,
see my naked eyes, I could see you, I can understand, but I mostly see you when you are not there. No? And that means I'm trying to remember in your absence. And whenever I do that,
imagine.
whenever I imagine in your absence, I see you more than what you actually are. So that's what one does when one is in affectionately attached with somebody. You feel the person more often than your own self. So that's what people feel when they are in love. So that's a kind of a love song, and that was originally written by Barkat Virani. And that's what the first line is, that when I see you with my closed eyes, I see you more than what you are, something like that. So that's wonderful. And what I think the reason why the modern generation likes it is not only because of the lyrics, it's also because of the other things, such as the songs, such as the picturization, such as the music, such as the tune and the hum. All those things makes it your favorite. So that's interesting. Do we have Avantika's writing? Okay, so there is a song called Hall of Fame. That's favorite of Avantika. That's what she wanted to share. So fine, that's interesting. Okay, very quickly we'll go down the line. We have Vaibhavi. Do we have Vaibhavi?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Vaibhavi. If you could share yours.
Honestly, I don't. I'm not interested in poem at all.
Okay, maybe songs. You don't need to go to poetry. I know.
Yeah,
But
I'm
maybe
a very big
songs.
Bollywood. I'm very big Bollywood fan,
Yeah.
but I listen sometimes English song also. So
Yeah.
there's a one song called "Who Says." I think some of you have listened it.
Okay. So which is that
"Who Says"
line?
by
If you.
Selena Gomez.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a few lines. One of my favorite is "Who says you are not pretty? Who says you don't worth it?" Who says you're the only one that hurting? Uh, Trust me, that's the price of beauty.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah,
mm-hmm. Okay, so it's Selena Gomez.
I love
That's
Selena. I love Selena Gomez.
yeah. So that's interesting. Very close to say Western version of your Banusali, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. The youth icon and all. So interesting. Do we have Atri? Atri? Sorry, Arti. Is it Arti Parmar?
Yes, sir. It's
Yes, Arti.
Aarti.
Yes, Arti.
Sir, my favorite poem is The Road Not Taken.
Okay. Okay.
So this poem I studied in class 9th or 10th.
Mhm.
I don't remember,
Okay.
but it's my favorite.
Okay. Can you tell me one or two lines?
Sure, sir. This poem that describes the dilemma of a person standing at the road with diversion.
Mm-hmm.
This
Mm-hmm.
diversion symbolizes real life situations.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes sometimes in life too, there come times when we have to take two decisions.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't decide what is right or wrong for us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
Okay.
it's my favorite.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So that's Arti, and then we have last but not the least Khushi. We have Khushi in the class. Khushi Rathod. Okay, Khushi doesn't seem to be there. Okay, so now we could see. Okay, so somebody saying, I'm sorry to say, but you'll understand it and all. Yeah, you don't need to be sorry for anything. The idea was to say, to get some kind of data so that we get to know what the modern generation that all of you are looking at, or what are the tunes that you hum, what are the rhymes that's close to your heart. And that's the mixture of the collection that I could get. So now I think when I'm asking all of you, I need also to share mine. So when I was in college, these were the lines that struck me, that made me think of the ones, as you can see on your screen. So that's by a very interesting author, an astrologer called Linda Goodman. And these are the lines, the first four lines of a poem, a collection of poems that she published called, say, Love Poems. And these are the four lines that stuck me and that made me think. Right? It's so simple and so effective. So that's what I found interesting. So that's I thought I should also share. Could you see that? Restraint is like control and not letting your things out freely and fully. So that's the restraint, when you keep things in control, right? So most people love with restraint, as if they were someday to hate. We hate gently, carefully, as if we were someday to love. So these are the lines by Linda Goodman. So with this, including mine and others, you could see that we do have a whole lot of database that all of us have shared. So now, would like to already asked some of you already, some of you shared that why do you like the poetry or the songs, and what I could get in the response could be because a variety of things that are there. So, for example, some of you said, when I listen to this song, it makes me feel good. When I listen to this song, it makes me say feeling better. Or some of you also said that, because of this song, I could see it be present. It says what I wanted to say, isn't it? So, this is one. What are the other reasons why do you think you like this or any other poet? I hope I'm clear
The
enough.
way they
Yeah, yeah. The
the
way,
way they present is the better one.
okay, the way they present it, okay. we can have motivation from that. Okay, that's Sakshi said. But if you look at the kinds of poems that many of you shared, they are like complaints, they are like sad realities that, we are chopping off the woods and that's not good for the environment. Some of the issues that are so grave, there's issue that would rather make you disappoint rather than making you feel good about it. Did you notice that? That it's not actually motivating, it's rather, say depressing. Did you see that? Yes, Hardi?
Yes. So, according to me, as per you said that as the poetries and lines chosen by us were more like disappointing a bit
Or complain,
rather than more complaining.
at least complaining.
That, yeah, but according to me, they were like showing a ray of hope to end a darker day.
Okay.
So I guess I just wanted to share a bit.
Fine, fine. Okay, so that's there, that you complain, that you let's say, how does one get introduced to songs? If you see, one is because I'm free. When I free, I listen to songs, my favorite songs, maybe Bhanusali or Justin Bieber. That makes me feel good. I may not have the reason, I may not follow the lyrics also, but because there is a tune, because there is music, because there is my favorite person right in front of me in the screen or on the screen. You see that? So their lyric is at the back seat, right? So when you say this, but there is some words involved, right, which you may or may not notice. So that it does. So for in general, people, those who are not into poetry, those who are not exposed to it, for them it's the music, it's the rhythm that matters. But then for others, you could see that it is having some meaning, right? We can relate to it. Maybe when you are in to those rosy feelings, when you feel something for somebody, and when you listen to a song, you say, "I also feel the same." Right? Or when you feel wronged, when you feel, say, injustice has done to you, or when you think your voice is not heard, and then you see the brown eyes, and you say, "Yes, I could see my representation there." Right? So all those things that are there, and in the later period, whether you are or you are not, but when you heart broken, right, and then a lot of the sad songs would be there. Maybe you, maybe some of your friends, cousins, brothers, sisters, you must have noticed they like sad songs, heartbroken and all those things. My heart broke because of you and all those things. You could see they are very, very, say, popular, especially if you go to the auto rickshaws or truck drivers and others. They are into it, right? So people generally like sad songs, though they themselves may or may not be heartbroken, but that is appealing. You broke my heart, and God knows. In almost all languages, almost all the popular songs, you will see of this nature, right? I like Who Says because of the choice of words and all. So, do you mean Who Says is a song, Vaibhavi?
Yeah.
It's a song. Okay. So when you look at the words, when you look at the lyrics, you could see that the poetry has some qualities that makes it a poem, isn't it? So let me show you some of the characteristics which makes a poem, right? When you look at the lines, you can make out that it's not a lesson, it's not a chapter, but it's a poem. So what do you think? What makes poem a poem, or a song a song? It's not a speech, it's a song. How do you differentiate? There has to be some
There are
qualities.
stanzas in it.
Rhythm in words.
Okay, rhythm in words. Somebody said stanzas.
Rhyming words. Rhyming.
Rhyming words, usually at the end of the sentence. Yes, there'll be rhymes. What else makes it?
There are figures of speech.
Figure of speech. Yes, they are, but at times figures of speech are there in the prose also. Yes or no?
It's in stanza.
Okay, stanzas, that means line break actually, you want to say. So one, I think many of you agreed that it has a rhythm. A poem has a rhythm, or maybe a song has a rhythm, you know, or rhyme also, because it ends with the similar looking words, isn't it? So that's that. And it's lyrical, which some of you said directly or indirectly, like Bhanusali and Justin Bieber, All these are favorite of yours because you can sing them without at times understanding the lyrics. You see that? You can sing that. So Nain ne band rakhi ne. So you can sing that song. You may not understand the deeper meanings involved in it, but you can still hum a tune. You can hum a song or a line without being a professional singer, but you can hum the tune because it has the quality of lyrical. Lyrical is something that can be sung. You cannot sing a lesson. You cannot sing timetable, but you can sing a song. You can sing one or two lines, which I think one of the students beautifully tried. "Annain ne band rakhi." Right? So you can sing it. Others can also join. Right? So that's the quality that makes a poem. It has rhyme. It is lyrical. है ना? What else? Think as a poet. Like we do have a poet. So how do you write a poem? Do you decide one morning that okay, today I'll write a poem? What's the
The
process?
poems do not
No,
have
sir.
a proper grammar structure. Like poets can use their own coin words, and they can use it without a proper grammatical structure.
Okay, Prapti, do you want to say that it's okay if it is grammatically incorrect in a poem?
No, but poets like Shakespeare use their own coin words, and
Yes,
they
that's true.
often.
That's true. You can coin new words as a poet, as a creator. You can. But when you said grammatically incorrect, I think you wanted to suggest that it's okay if it does not have a structure of a sentence,
Yes, yes.
isn't it? It may not be a sentence. It does not look like a sentence. So that's true. Yes, Bhumi.
Sir, sometimes the writer also have a descriptive imaginary for writing a poem.
I think you want to use the word abstract, not descriptive.
Yes, yes,
What
abstract.
do you mean by abstract?
Like we can say that something which we can put in words but which we can't explain. We need to elaborate in a way that
You need to elaborate more.
yes, we have to elaborate more.
For the word abstract, you need to elaborate more. What do you mean by
Yes, I need
abstract?
to.
So, can anybody help her? What do you mean by
Yes.
abstract? There are a lot of
Abstract
abstract
is
things. Yes,
abstract is something that we can feel, but we cannot see. Like there are love
yes,
is abstract, and
yes,
uh,
yes.
Like we can feel, but it's not.
Tangible.
Yes, it's not tangible.
You cannot
That
touch it,
word
you cannot
was
see it, and worst, you cannot show it.
yes.
No,
Cannot feel it.
you can feel it. In
We
fact, you
can.
can only feel it. You see, or if you are good at your expressions, you can make others feel. So for example, if I say my heart broke, so what do you mean by heart broke? Do you actually have a heart that broke physically?
No, it's a like a
No.
feeling that one feels.
Yeah, so
One
that's a
goes.
concept. That's more of a mind that you are talking. When you say my heart broke, actually it is your mind that broke. And I'm sure you know the difference between mind and brain, right? It's biology, but I think you know that. Brain is if you open your head, you could see a lump of flesh called brain, but you don't get mind because what is mind? If you don't mind, can you tell me what is mind? What is mind? It's a good question,
दिल
isn't
पे
it?
मत लगाना.
Yeah, but that's a line. Do you mean mind is dil or heart? Bunch of thoughts, Sakshi said. So mind. Yes, Hardi.
So, if I try to put it in words, it would be like, don't take it personally.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
put it.
that's
Keep it in your mind. Don't
you are
catch
trying
it up.
to Hardi, you are trying to explain the phrase called don't mind it. I'm saying the word mind. What do you mean by the word mind? Bunch of thoughts. That could be one explanation by Sakshi. In Gujarati, it is man. Yeah, thank you for the translation, bacha. But what is man? Vaibhavi?
The bunch of feelings,
Bunch of feelings. You're very
intelligence.
no, intelligence is slightly different.
But it's like a scientific term if we explain the
It
meaning
is
of mind.
not scientific term. It is psychological term. Because scientific, anything scientific can be proved based on facts. Mind is not scientific. It is psychological. All of you are very close when you said bunch of thoughts or bunch of
Don't take
feelings.
it seriously.
I think you are still confusing it with don't mind. When you say don't mind is don't take it seriously. But only mind, the word stands for one definition. There are many, but one definition could be a bunch of likes and dislikes an individual has is mind. So, for example, you like something or you dislike something. So, it is all the game of your mind. That because of some weird reasons, or at times even without reasons, you like something or somebody, and at times without any logical reasons, you dislike somebody or something. So, all these are the games of your mind, right? So, that's why. So, that's beautifully translated not as man but as chitta, right? So that's maybe someday we'll discuss chitta, and that's why we have an Indian say poetic and Indian say spiritual life. They always say chitta suddhi, that your chitta should be uh, say pure. Only then you will be able to do something meaningful. Okay, so combination of emotions and imaginations and all. Yeah, so all these are the games that mind at times play. Is actually mind is what you concentrate on. Is your mind. You say man nathi lagtu. I'm not able to concentrate because your mind is not there in that thing or a process or anything. So mind is basically function of mind is basically to concentrate on something. That's what mind is. Okay, so that's what abstract thing is. So all these things can be explained better with poetry. You can do it with prose also, but with poetry you can do it easily. Come back to the production of a poetry. When you produce a poem, how do you do it? Is it planned? Is it structured? Does it come naturally? How does it come? What do you think?
Imagination.
It's there, always there. You can imagine. But point is, with imagination only can you create it. A poem. How is it? How does it come?
Our
Naturally.
feeling.
Feelings. Yes, you feel. For example, you feel bad and a poet feels bad. You may not write a poem, a poet may write a poem, because you can also feel when something bad happens or something good happens, but most of us don't write poems. We feel bad, we do have heart, we do have imagination also, but all of us don't write poems. Some specially gifted people can, and they too not always they can write. Whenever they feel something, they don't write poem. Then there is a combination of feeling and emotion and expression, and that too not very logically, but a word, if you know, spontaneously. You know this word?
Instant.
Yes. Instant,
Spontaneous is
naturally.
something that comes not,
Instant.
yeah, instant and without any plan. It just comes naturally to you, right?
Yeah.
Spontaneously. And that's why one of the greatest poet of English literature, called William Wordsworth, said that what is a poetry? Poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings, not ordinary feelings, powerful feelings, recollected in tranquility. What's a poem? Poem is nothing but the outburst of powerful feelings, spontaneous outburst, not planned. You can't plan it. Those who are into poetry, they know this. You cannot plan a poem. It comes spontaneously. So it's a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings recollected in tranquility. It's a powerful feeling. It comes to you, but if you don't recollect it, again the poem would go again without being on paper, isn't it? So that's what the poem is. One of the definition is that poetry is a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings recollected in tranquility. Definition given by William Wordsworth. Okay, so that's one more characteristic that makes poem a poem. That it's spontaneous. It is overflow, not of ordinary feelings, but powerful feelings. So that's what poem is. Then comes a few more characteristics. It expresses something which is very complex, right? Not an ordinary one. Powerful and complex feelings, right? So this is what we create poem when we want to deliver a message. So that, and that to a message which is very complex. You can write an essay also if you want to deliver a message, but you prefer a poem when the feelings are very complex, where emotions are very complex. You prefer poem. And last, it's human. Only humans can write poetry. You would say, but there are many things that only humans can do, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So, what are strictly human things that only humans can do? Animals cannot do, machines cannot do.
Humans can think and create.
Logically think.
We can think logically, but machines cannot think logically. Is it what you're saying?
Like machines do not have feelings. Humans do have.
Okay. Humans do have feelings, machines do not have. Animals have, but animals do not have language, isn't it?
Yes, animals do have feelings, but they cannot express it. They
That's
can
because
express it, but who knows them? Like they don't
But
think
we
of them.
cannot understand.
we cannot
Yes,
understand, they cannot express. So that's problem with the other species other than humans. What about machines?
machines are made by humans, no? So
Yeah, but they can be
they do
made
not.
as sophisticated as human beings.
So they can be made, but they are coded by humans, so they are human created. They are
Can
natural.
code it so advanced they can tell stories. Is it not possible?
Yes,
They
yes.
Yes, it
can,
is
sir.
They
They
possible.
can
can beat
tell stories.
humans.
Is it not
They
possible?
are far better, yes, than
See,
humans.
Lisa knows.
Yes,
Because
sir.
we have to order them. They cannot think by themselves. We have to order
Are
it.
you sure, Vaibhavi? Are you sure they cannot think?
No. Sir, they can think, they can do work as we want, but they are created by us. So we are in any aspect,
Okay,
we are like
okay.
creator of them.
I think we are going very serious. I think we are getting very serious. Let's come back to the simpler things. Do you think a robot can cut a joke?
No, like robot can cut a joke, but that speech won't be the same like as a human does. Like
Okay,
that
okay.
feeling,
Let's put it this
we
way. Let's
can.
put it this way. Do you think if you cut a joke, robot would smile?
No.
No,
Sure.
maybe no, maybe yes.
You cannot say maybe. Either they do or they don't. So what do
No,
you
they
think?
don't, sir. As
Because they
only
can't.
robots cannot have feelings. They don't have that understanding. They have, but they cannot understand at an extent level like a human does.
Okay, sure.
Yes. As per me, I like
Okay.
I'm.
Okay. Last point of the day, I'll introduce something called AI. Have you heard the term called AI? Called
Yes.
artificial intelligence.
Yes, sir.
What is it? No idea? Okay.
Sir.
Have you heard something called Sophia?
Yes. One of advanced AI robots,
What's so
humanoid robots.
what's so special about this robot?
So it is humanized. It is like mostly it can conduct things that humans can do. It is favorite actor as well. That is Shah
For
Rukh Khan.
example, for example, I would recommend all of you to go to YouTube and search for Sophia, and you'll find many things that are otherwise strictly human. For example, to smile. For example, to wink. You know, wink. You close your one eye, wink. Do you know Sophia can wink? Do you know Sophia can cut a joke and Sophia can smile if you cut a joke? Yeah, she wants to get married. Also, I did not know that. But point is, it's very, very close to human. Now the question is, can a robot or artificial intelligence enabled robot can tell a story?
Yes, it can,
Yes,
I guess.
Do you know or do you think?
yes,
I guess they can tell stories, joke.
Okay, we can
yes,
program
they
them.
can if we program it.
Okay, and you can search. It's already out. The novels and stories written by computers, artificially intelligent
Yes.
enabled computers. Stories are already out. They can drive, say, car. They can talk to you. They can laugh with you. They can spend time with you. All this has reached. But last question is: do you think a computer or Sophia like robots can create a poem? The
Yes,
poem is very, very human.
No,
What do you think?
I don't
yes,
think
sir,
so.
they
They
can.
can.
Okay. So with this question, I would share with you a small video, a TED talk on what is poetry. It's a very small video of 5 minutes, and let's see if you could get the answer of this. So give me a minute. I'll share the screen with you. Tell me when you are able to see the screen. Yep. Yep. Students, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So that's going to be a TED talk. Just a 5 minutes TED talk. The title is "What Makes a Poem a Poem." Okay. So let's see. Tell me when you're able to hear the audio. Is it audible?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, great, great. So let's see.
Muhammad Ali spent years training to become the greatest boxer the world had ever seen, but only moments to create the shortest poem. Ali captivated Harvard's graduating class in 1975 with his message of unity and friendship. When he finished, the audience wanted more. They wanted a poem. Ali delivered what is considered the shortest poem ever. Me, we. Or is it me, we? No one's really sure. Regardless, if these two words are a poem, then what exactly makes a poem a poem? Poets themselves have struggled with this question, often using metaphors to approximate a definition. Is a poem a little machine, a firework, an echo, a dream? Poetry generally has certain recognizable characteristics. 1. Poems emphasize language's musical qualities. This can be achieved through rhyme, rhythm, and meter, from the sonnets of Shakespeare to the odes of Confucius to the Sanskrit Vedas. 2. Poems use condensed language, like literature, with all the water wrung out of it. 3. Poems often feature intense feelings, from Rumi's spiritual poetry to Pablo Neruda's Ode to an Onion. Poetry, like art itself, has a way of challenging simple definitions. While the rhythmic patterns of the earliest poems were a way to remember stories even before the advent of writing, a poem doesn't need to be lyrical. Rainer Doll's Apfel and Eugen Gomringer's Silencio toe the line between visual art and poetry. Meanwhile, E. E. Cummings wrote poems whose shapes were as important as the words themselves, in this case, amplifying the sad loneliness of a single leaf falling through space. If the visual nature of poetry faded into the background, perhaps we'd be left with music. And that's an area that people love to debate. Are songs poems? Many don't regard songwriters as poets in a literary sense, but lyrics from artists like Paul Simon, Bob Dylan, and Tupac Shakur often hold up even without the music. In rap, poetic elements like rhyme, rhythm, and imagery are inseparable from the form. Take this lyric from the Notorious B.I.G. I can hear sweat trickling down your cheek. Your heartbeats sound like Sasquatch feet, thundering, shaking the concrete. So far, all the examples we've seen have had line breaks. We can even imagine the two words of Ali's poem organizing in the air. Me, we. Poetry has a shape that we can usually recognize. Its line breaks help readers navigate the rhythms of a poem. But what if those line breaks disappeared? Would it lose its essence as a poem? Maybe not. Enter the prose poem. Prose poems use vivid images and wordplay, but are formatted like paragraphs. When we look at poetry less as a form and more as a concept, we can see the poetic all around us. Spiritual hymns, the speeches of orators like Martin Luther King Jr., JFK, and Winston Churchill, and surprising places like social media. In 2010, journalist Joanna Smith tweeted updates from the earthquake in Haiti. Was in B-room getting dressed when heard my name. Tremor. Ran outside through sliding door. All still now. Safe. Roosters crowing. Smith uses language in a way that is powerful, direct, and filled with vivid images. Compare her language to a haiku, the ancient Japanese poetic form that emphasizes bursts of brief intensity, with just 3 lines of 5, 7, and 5 syllables. The waters of poetry run wide and deep. Poetry has evolved over time, and perhaps now more than ever, the line between poetry, prose, song, and visual art has blurred. However, one thing has not changed. The word poetry actually began in verb form, coming from the ancient Greek poiesis, which means to create. Poets, like craftsmen, still work with the raw materials of the world to forge new understandings and comment on what it is to be human in a way only humans can. Dartmouth researchers tested this idea by asking robots to pen poetry. A panel of judges sorted through stacks of sonnets to see if they could distinguish those made by man and machine. You may be happy to know that while scientists have successfully used artificial intelligence in manufacturing, medicine, and even journalism, poetry is a different story. The robots were caught red-handed 100% of the time.
Okay, so what do you make of it? Did you get the answer? Can robot write a poem? Did you get the answer, students? Hello, I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Was it like all of you are spellbound and took time to respond? So it made you think, isn't it? So there are layers and layers of it that makes a poem a poem. But one thing, as of now, is sure that this artificial intelligence has reached to great sophistication, very, very close to the human intelligence. But still, it has not been able to create poem. Not as of now. Maybe in the future, we don't know. But as of now, it's not. So that's why the last characteristic, if you noticed that we shared, that the poetry is very, very human, right? So that's what makes poem a poem. So these are the characteristics that we had discussed, and with the help of AI and this small TED Talk video, I think we could get to know. So we did try and understand a bit of it in terms of our say poem, in terms of what you think of poem, where do you stand, and that was an enriching session for me. I don't know about you, but I had a great time. So now I think there were some students who joined a bit late or network issue or something. So I'll take the attendance one more time, especially of the students who were absent according to my list. If they have joined, please tell me if they are there. Do we have Anchal? Anchal Parmar? Is she there? Anchal, are you there? Anchal is still not there. Do we have Vishwaraj? No. Do we have Tasmai? Joshi? No. Do we have Harshjeet Singh? Harshdeep Singh? No. Do we have Muhammad Imtiaz? No. These are the students who are absent according to my list. So in case they are there, please tell me. And last is Khushi Rathod. Khushi Rathod. These were the students who were not there. I do not take attendance based on this chat thing, so you don't need to write your say numbers and names in the chat. I take it manually. That's a bit difference that I have than the rest of the other people. I don't know, but if Anchal, okay, Anchal is there, but she did not unmute her mic. So make sure if you are there, whenever I take your name, make sure that you only then you respond. Otherwise, this is not the way I'll take the attendance. Anyways, so now this is one kind of an introduction to poem and poetry. I'll be sharing this TED Talk link to you. You can watch it maybe one or two more times because it's wonderfully prepared and visually also very appealing, which I'm sure will give you many insights into poetry and what makes a poem, which I'm sure will help you to understand. So in the next session, when we are going to have, we'll try and see some more forms, some more ways in which poem can be appreciated. I could see two, broadly speaking, two kinds of students in our class. One, those who are already into it, into literature, those who already started exploring the complex and layered meanings of poem, those who are already there. And there are others, those who are not already into poems, they are not into literature, they are not exposed as of now. So I'll try and have a kind of a balance wherein I'll try and introduce you to the poem that you can say say cope up with easily, and it will make more sense to you. So I hope it will make more sense in the next session. So thank you all for your participation. That's all for today. See you then in the next session with poetry appreciation part 2. Right? Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.